Good afternoon, viewers of Teledal TV. ñëwaat nañ ci seen benn programme Beyond the Scores. Beyond the Scores nag nekk programme bi nga xam ne dinañ waxtaanee lépp everything lu involve about sports. Programme bi nag ñu ko dépassé di Africell comme ni ko Africell faral di defee rek indiwaat nañ seen fi looy def rek mooy da ngaa dayal 221 nga seen sa tur ak sa adresse pour nga stand the chance pour nga win free transportation. Free accommodation and free entry to the stadium to watch the game between Gambia and Senegal, which is the Senegal Derby. ñu ngi nii rek teel daal mun ngeen a follow suñu social media handles yëpp di Facebook, YouTube, TikTok ak X. Tey nag ma nekk fi ak suma co-host di ma bàyyi leen rek ngeen nuyu ak moom Michael. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Gay. It's always an honor to share this very wonderful platform with you. And once it concerns football, of course, let's do this, especially the Senegambia Derby. Is something that I look forward to.
Thank you, Michael. Tey comme ni ko Michael waxee rek moom mooy Michael nuyu na Michael welcome to the show. Lu ñu waxtaanee tey rek mooy nañ waxtaanee mostly rek fu ñoo concentrate mooy Senegambia Derby bi ndax ñëpp xam nañ Gambia mu ngi war a play ak Sénégal biir Sénégal dinañ waxtaanee loolu dinañ waxtaanee GFF. FA Cup bi bu happen si weekend bi dinañ waxtaanee tamit World Cup playoffs si dinañ waxtaanee tamit the last dance mooy nga war a gis rek soo winee nga dem World Cup dinañ dem break bu gàtta rek suñ ñëwaatee rek ñu dugg si programme bi.
You can now turn your loyalty points into data or voice bundles. Simply dial *772#, press 1 to check how many points you've got, press 2 to redeem those points. Recharge on AfriCell, buy credit on AfriMoney, buy cash power. Lord Efrek, you get points. Even when you redeem, your total points still stack up, giving you a chance to win one of 2 luxury AfriCell villas. AfriCell, 25 years of rewarding loyalty, and we're just getting started.
bu gàtta boobu rek di comme nañ leen ko digoon rek dinañ ko commencé si Gambia football GFF First Division FA Cup round 32 ñu gis some fixtures jot na happen ñu gis Medina United door Hawks biir Basori Adama Kante scored si 47 minutes bi Paul Colley scored brace on the 53 minute and the 60 minute penalties ñu jógee foofu tam gis Wali daan moom ak Steve bi ko ñu draw biir Yundum waaye Steve ñu dem ba penalties su daaw Steve bi ko win 4-3 on penalties ñu gis Suwokono tamit football club moom ak North Stars ñu play ko biir Soma North Stars win 2-1 Suwokono nag seen goal bi Lamin Badji moo ko score after bala Cheikh Ndiaye di score 78 minutes bi ak Moussa Cissé si 25 minutes bi Unique Global nag ñu gis Falcons door ko 3-0 biir Bakaw ñu gis Lamin Marong score si 66 minutes bi Mohamed Badji score ak Daouda Diawo score si 72 minutes bi Fortune nag ñu gis Mudro ak Elite at Birkama ñu gis ne Mohamed Gomez score Elite indi 45 minutes ñu gis tamit Abdoulaye Diallo si 98 minutes bi but gars yi dem penalties Fortune win 4-3 on penalties last match bi nag ñu gis GP Gambia Port Authority Football Club draw ak Serekunda United ñu play ko biir Serekunda East but gars yi dem penalties Gambia Port Authority win 4-2 on penalties suñ jógee foofu rek nag léegi dinañ shift suñ attention si Gambia rek Senegambia Derby bi ñu gis Scorpions yi def nañ seen first training session biir Sénégal foofu noonu rek ñu gis gesto bu Sénégal seen FA bi def ñu war a fay all expenses for the Gambia. Michael, how do you see that gesture that the Senegalese FA did to the Gambians?
I say this to you in confidence. You don't see that easily in football. You know, football is a game of unison, it's a game of love, but to have seen the Senegalese side accommodating the Gambia in the regards that they've done is remarkable. It is beyond football. That is more. It's beyond football. It's just more than football. You look at that from more regional point of view in terms of reactivating the Senegambianization policy of unison, of love and peace and togetherness between and amongst the people of Senegal and the Gambia. It goes a long way to speak to the downtrodden masses that look, politics might divide us. We might be divided based on the borders, based on the different values that we represent, but you cannot divide the people of Senegal and the people of the Gambia. It's more of one nation divided by borders, but we should not escape the values that unite us. And that's just a massive gesture there from the Senegalese side. It should be saluted for a very long period of time. Yeah.
Thank you, Mikel. We had you. I think we will talk more about this Senegambian Derby. But quickly, we saw the Gambia Football Federation release a statement to ensure a vibrant and unified atmosphere, urging the Gambian fans in Senegal there to get there to sit on the stands of 131 and 133. But in between them, 132, he said most of the Gambian fans will be sitting there. So they are urging the Gambian fans, all of them to sit there in Gambian colors so that we can give a unified and vibrant atmosphere. How do you see that?
I think I subscribe to that 100% because just like we said in the last edition here, even if the Gambia plays another nation and lost with a massive result, a massive defeat, but a game between Senegal and the Gambia is always going to be different. The atmosphere is going to be different because these are nations that have common values. And that rivalry is going to be there. It's more like a Nigeria playing a Cameroon, or a Nigeria playing Ghana, or a Ghana playing a Cameroon, so to speak. Those rivalries are always going to be there. So a statement from the GFF ensuring that the fans are situated in one gathering so that they can give the massive voice against the rival team, the Senegalese national team, Teranga Lions. I think that's a step in the right direction because you need that voice. The spectators are the extra player. Are the extra players that the team needs to be galvanized to give the 100% in terms of performance. So I agree with that 100%. I subscribe to that, and the fans should adhere to that, including Gambians who are not even going to be in Senegal on that day, in their respective corners, in their shops behind the television. That is if they're going to have access to watching the match. We must remain zealous. I say we because this is my Liberia out of Liberia. So I say we must be zealous to ensure that at the end of the day, victory becomes ours because I'm shooting for the Gambia.
Thanks for the Gambia, Mikel.
100%.
Thank you so much. But Mikel, for the viewers, for those of you who cannot speak, English language, ñu gis rek Gambia Football Federation wane nañ ne fans yu dem biir Sénégal pour dugg ci stadium bi. suñ lu ñu naa ñaan rek mooy ñu toog si pavilion 131 ak 133 but in between 132 dinañ gis Gambian fans yëpp foofu la ñoo toog dañ bugg a set atmosphère bi nga xam ne fans yi yëpp dinañ mun a def stadium bi mu colorful ñu mun a support seen dëkk di Gambia di ñaanal Scorpions rek win ñu gis ne tamit Moussa Barrow donate na $70,000 for the Gambia fans club pour gis ne rek so many people dinañ dem si game bi dem setaani game bi pour mun a support the Dalian Scorpions. Mikel, Moussa Barrow, one of the Gambian key players, donated $70,000 to the fans base so that they can, most of the fans can have access to go and watch the game. How do you see that gesture?
That's also a very wonderful gesture. He understands, he's a top professional. And one thing I love about Moussa Barrow is that he doesn't talk. He just acts. Is, you know, outside football, individual must have what you call corporate social responsibility because the fans are actually who made you as a player. They were the one in the corners doing your grassroots days. So once heaven blesses you to have an opportunity to play at that level where Moussa Barrow is, you need to go give back to the society. And it's a win-win approach because such amount is going to help the footballing authorities to gather the right kind of funds that will be on that field to give the support to the boys. And that extra support will also serve as a motivation for the guys to give their level best in ensuring that they compete competitively well against the Senegalese counterpart. So it's a wonderful one. I think massive salute to Moussa Barrow, and it shows seniority because just like I said, if you reach a certain level in life, if heaven blesses you, then you should give back because that you are blessed today does not mean that you're better than the rest of the people. So the other players that are growing, the younger generation of players should also look forward to similar gesture or even far better than that. So it's a salute to him. He did extremely well.
It's a salute to him. He did extremely well. Ñu ko waxee rek ñu gis Moussa Barrow mais $70,000 si Gambian fans pour gis ne rek dina am more fans dinañ dem seetaani game bi ñu loolu nag nekk gesto bi nga xam ne gesto bu rafet la. Di ñaanal Moussa Barrow rek lu mu bugg rek yàlla defal ko yàlla gën koo yokka rek di gis ne carrière mu ngi gën a dem si kanam di ooj tamit yeneen Gambian players yëpp ñu follow suite def nu Moussa Barrow def rek Mikel with Senegal paying all the expenses for the Gambia. What can that do in between the two countries, apart from football?
That's what I said earlier, that it's more than football. Because you don't see gesture like that in football, especially African football. Everybody has got the challenges from leadership, governance, economy, politics, and everything. So for the Senegalese counterpart to have done what they just chosen to do, it goes beyond football. It speaks to the long-lasting, peaceful coexistence between both nations. And it goes along with also enlightening the masses of both nations that look, we might be divided on border lines, on regional lines, or on the issue of governance or politics, but humanity remains the greatest. Just like I described the Gambia the last time, if you look at the map of Senegal, and you look at the map of the Gambia, you see that the Gambia is in the middle of the Senegalese map. So it's more like a finger pointed into the heart of Senegal. More like a pregnant lady with a baby in a womb, so to speak. So you can't separate the baby from the mother. You cannot separate the mother from the baby until that time is ripe. So it shows how united, how undivided the Gambia and Senegal is. So it should teach a whole lot of people. It's not only limited to these two countries, but it should send message to Liberia and Sierra Leone. Today we have issues of the Guinean border and the Liberian border. There are military from both countries there having dispute over a piece of land. So it goes to Guinea-Conakry and Sierra Leone as well, Ivory Coast and Liberia. That regional integration is very important, because this act right here by the Senegalese team is beyond football. It must be celebrated and must be emulated by any well-meaning nation and its people.
Thank you, Mikel. Viewers rek déglukat rek ñu dégut nasaraan rek lu ma wane rek mooy Sénégal gesto bu ngay def si li final fayal Gambia seen expenses yëpp maanaam seen dépasse ñu fa war a def yëpp ñoom ñu fayal ko Gambia. Mikel mu ngi wane ne rek ne loolu dafa li final ñaari dëkk yi daal seen diggante daf ko oyofal yombal ko bañ gis ne daal moo tax di wane ne rek daal Sénégal ak Gambia seen diggante dara xeju fa. Kon lu ñoo wane rek mooy ñu def lanka ñu ni neen ndax ku nekk rek sénégalais yoo gis rek am nañ mbokk Gambien yi tamit am nañu am mbokk biir Sénégal. Kon nag Sénégambien lañ wax moo tax ñu war koo rafetal rek suñ diggante ba nga xam gis ne yeneen xeju fa ndax Sénégal def nañ gesto bu rafet ñëpp gisat ne ko ndoor ñun ñëpp kontaan nañ si Gambien si yëpp kontaan nañ si gesto bu Sénégal def war a ameel ñu lépp suñ dund suñ yëpp daal ñoom ñoo ñu ameel foofu nekk gesto bu rafet. Mikel, this test match, what, like for example, what can it bring to Senegal preparing for the World Cup?
I think it's a decent build-up. People might look at it from a different point of view, but I think it's a very decent build-up for the Teranga Lions because they are not just playing the Gambia, they are playing a rival team that have had history of a massive competition. Anytime the Gambia plays Senegal, it's a different game, like I always say. So as the build-up, we have the 90 days to the World Cup, right? We're talking about April, May, June. 90 days to the World Cup and playing a competitive match like the Gambia. It's beautiful for their football. It determines what is to come. Because mind you, in the last couple of years, the Gambia has been very massive in terms of performance. They got a very youthful team. One of the fastest attacks, the Mente, the Barrow, and then, these are fast-growing attackers that can break deadlock at any moment in time. Individual talents as well. You have an experienced Senegalese side as well. So playing the game, I think, is a massive and decent build-up for the Senegalese team going forward. And it also add extra value to the Gambian side, especially if they manage to get a win against Senegal, that is the African champions, quote-unquote champions, considering everything that is happening in politics on the AFCON in the court of arbitration of sport. Until they lose that appeal, I think they are still the African champions. They deserve being champions. So if the Gambia wins, it adds to their FIFA ranking. So it's going to be a very good game. And I'm happy that the Senegalese are doing everything possible to create a level playing field so that the game becomes competitive in terms of how warmly receptive they are for their Gambian opponent in terms of the preparation, in terms of all the food, the accommodation, the training facilities and everything. Just like the Wolof would say, nit ni mo garaba
nit ay garabam
man tinga su se nga ñu muta
yes
ñu ne yeb ben la ñu jappalante
exactly ñu ñu jappalante which I believe Senegal, that is what Senegal is doing as it stands, because they are seeing us as their brothers. And then for example in our African concept, when your brother come and visit you, you have to do all the expenses, all the necessities,
so make sure to at home.
Exactly,
that is the value we represent as a continent.
Exactly,
it's not strange from me, from where I hail from.
Yes, exactly. What have you learned from that, Miguel?
Just like I talk about, it speaks about unison. It just educates me on the need to accommodate your brother, that you should do unto others as you expect others to do unto you.
Exactly.
I am strongly convinced in my spirit that the Gambian Football Federation will be thinking going forward, how will they be able to reciprocate that gesture in the nearest future, so to speak, if the opportunity presents itself. And it's not too far away, because the Senegalese team have got a case in the Court of Arbitration for Sport.
Yes.
GFF should be thinking in the direction of sending a communication in solidarity with the Senegalese counterpart, that the deserving winners, regardless of the fact that if even they are going to be penalized, but they should make a statement in support or in solidarity with the Senegalese counterpart to ensure that they are protected. And sometimes when somebody does you good, when it comes to reciprocity, paying back, your payback might not be the same measure of what the person did, but it is just in acknowledgement or recognition of the fact that you actually know that the person has done you something good, and you wanting them to know that you value that, you respect that, and you look forward to having a far more cordial relationship than the existing one. So I think Gambians are watching, individual Gambians in their respective corners will start to appreciate a Senegalese counterpart. The records have always been there. These are two nations that love and appreciate one another, and I think it's just going to go a long way in uniting people. And it's not only for Senegal and Gambia, but it's a beautiful message when it comes to the Pan-Africanization policy of peace, unity, and one accord.
Thank you, Mikel. Jërëjëf, comme ko suma co-host bi di waxee rek, Mikel, di wane ne rek ne wane nañ ne Gambia Sénégal, comme ni ma ko waxee woon rek, jàmm rek a xëj suñu diggante. Amul dara leneen lu xëj suñu diggante lu dul jàmm. Kon nag ñu wax yeneen wax yu ñaaw yu ñu wax, ñu bàyyi ko rek. Concentrate suñ diggante ñoo xam ne jaama rek a mun a dox suñ diggante. Football nag daf day jeex, dafa nekk loo xam ne daf day jeex. Rivalry nag daf day mun a am, ndax gis nañ Sénégal ak Gambia rivalry mu nekk suñ diggante, waaye rivalry bi yëpp nañ ko teg si sportsmanship ak maturity, ñu doxal mun koo doxal. Football bi su passé ñu continuer waat si lu ñu nekkoon, di wax Sénégal ne rek seen effet bi jërëjëf si lu ñu defal, di leen wan ne rek yoon amul si benn rek, ñun tamit ñu ngi looking forward, ñun tamit ñu defal gars yi lu raw loolu lu ñu defal. Léegi nag lu ñoo def mooy dinañ dem si break rek, xam naa ne game bi nag dinañ amaat special edition bi nga xam ne dinañ ñëw, bi nga xam ne dañoo waxtaan si game bi rek la ñoo waxtaanee di Senegambia Derby, incha allah ñoo leen ko dig. Lu ñoo def rek mooy dinañ dem short break rek, suñ ñëwee rek ñu shift suñ attention to international scenes, ñu gis results yu happen si World Cup playoffs.
We've got fantastic new social media bundles just for you. Here are your options.
50 megabytes for $10 is valid for 1 day.
Enjoy 400 megabytes for $40, valid for 7 days.
Get a massive 1,200 megabytes for $100 is only, valid for 7 days.
Simply dial *120# and press 3 to pick the social media bundle that suits you best. Subscribe now.
Why settle for one when you can talk with two? With the Africell TOK service. For just $99, you get a massive 1,200 minutes of talk time to share between your two favorite people. To activate, dial *135#, select your two Africell numbers, and you're locked in for a full month of conversations. Africell, connecting you to your peoples.
Gannaaw bu ñu jógee si break boobu rek bu gàtta boobu rek comme ni ñu ko waxee woon rek dinañ continuer ba tey su lu ñu waxtaanee about sports. ne World Cup playoffs yi play nañ mooy ñi nga xam ne ñoom ñoo war a qualified pour complete last slots of the World Cup group stages. ñu gis ne Sweden Turkey play na ak Romania, Turkey door Romania 1-0. Czech Republic tamit play na Ireland ñu gis Czech Republic tamit win on penalties 4-3 on penalties ñu gis Denmark tamit dóor North Macedonia 4-0 ñu gis Italie tamit ñi nga xam ne last 2 years yëpp last 2 Africa World Cups yëpp meekuñ ko woon si qualification si yëpp dañ leen éliminé toon ñu gis gars yi dóor Northern Ireland 2-0 ñu gis Poland tamit bu Lewandowski dóor Albania 2-1 ñu gis Sweden Kosovo ñi nga xam ne xam naa nañ si kanam nañ wax seen affaire dóor Slovaquie 4-3 ñu gis tamit Ukraine Sweden dóor ko 3-1 that Gyökeres hat-trick ñu gis Wales tamit Bosnia dóor ko on penalties intercontinental tamit ñu gis Bolivia dóor Suriname ñu gis Jamaica tamit dóor New Caledonia 1-0. Michael, the first thing we are going to talk about Kosovo.
Okay.
We have seen Kosovo's records. Like, for example, what they have done. How do you see Kosovo?
You know, in football, everything is possible, and there is something called the unforeseen. You recall in 2016 when Iceland came to the Euros and they were formidable. Those are the strangest things you see in football. So I'm surprised of Kosovo because that is not a name that is heard in world football.
Yes.
But they have gone all out and winning, is it Slovakia or something that won? And then a step away from qualification to the World Cup. I think they've already won my heart because it was not expected, but this is football. Once the 90-minute kicks off, everything is possible. If they are determined and then they actually want it, they can achieve it as well. Yeah. So
and then before you go further, Kosovo, it's just in 2014 that they were recognized by FIFA when they are allowed to play friendlies. And then in 2016, they were recognized by UEFA.
Okay.
In 2018-2019, they won the League D of the Nations League. And then in 2026, they are one game away from their first World Cup.
So you see, it all has to do with, for the last edition, we were here talking about preparation. We're talking about structure in place. It is always good to recognize a problem, to acknowledge that you got problem. That's the first stage of finding solutions to them. So the Kosovo thing has not been a recognized name, no disrespect to them, but just look at the trend and the change of events in the footballing existence of that country. Just few years' time, they've grown to the level that they are, just as per your explanation right now. So it goes along with the send a message to African football governing bodies. We should be able to put a requisite structures in place to grow our football because we've never lacked talent. We have invaluable, immeasurable talents on this continent, but because we lack the right organizational structure, we lack the right personalities, we have wrong people in good positions and good people in wrong positions. So we're not doing what we expect to do. Our football has been undermined. So if we can be able to put in the right structures in place, like little Kosovo has done, I think the sky is not even our limit.
The sky is not the limit, Michaela. We have seen Kosovo. They are one step from a milestone to qualification. What does that bring to football? What does it mean to football?
Just like I was saying, everybody has a level playing field to express themselves. So it goes a long way to tell you that if you put in the work, you're going to get the resultant effect. If you fail to put in the work, you're not going to have the resultant effect. So that's football. That's the beauty of football. Every time that a tournament is held, every time that a competition is held, there are some strangest things that take place. Just look at Cape Verde. That is right here.
Yes, Cape
the
Verde.
first appearance in the forthcoming World Cup. That's a milestone for them.
Yes.
So this is a case that Kosovo wants to replicate.
That's true.
So there's just some of the strangest things that we expect in football. And I look forward to their qualification.
You look forward to their qualification. Comme ni ko waxee rek ba tey ne yéen a ngi seetaan Télé Dal TV di leen wax ne rek mën ngeen a follow ba tey suñu social media handles yëpp di Facebook, YouTube, X ak Insta. Michael, looking forward to the qualification World Cup playoffs have reached its final stage, which is the last dance.
Of course.
We seen Bosnia is playing against Italy.
Okay.
Italy are looking forward to make it this time around. After they lost two of their last two World Cups, they all lost in the finals.
Of course.
Czech Republic, they are playing against Denmark.
Okay.
Kosovo, they are playing against Turkey.
Okay.
We have Sweden also. They are playing against Poland. These are the games.
No.
But the special game for we the Africans is DR Congo versus Jamaica. That is the game. What do you make of DR Congo's World Cup playoff against Jamaica?
I think if you do a survey of DR Congo in the last couple of years, they've being very competitive on in African football. They've always done the level best in the AFCON in terms of competing very well. Even if they are out, they leave out with pride. They are not one of those nations that is a walkover. So they've always constantly put in the work and expect a decent result. And the level they've come so far, I expect nothing less from them. I think they have Jamaica to play.
Jamaica, yes.
As
The Reggae
the last
Boys.
dance.
Yes.
No disrespect to Jamaica, but I see no reason why Congo wouldn't get that result so that they join the rest of the African team. Because this is the opportunity for Africa to have massive numbers in the World Cup for the first time. It's always been 5 teams or 4 teams. Or we're getting close to 10 teams to be represented in the forthcoming World Cup. And Congo must do everything within her powers to add to the existing numbers of African teams so that we have many competitors that will be willing and prepared to put in the level best in the forthcoming World Cup so that we were represented as a continent, that our options will be many.
Before just the test game, we have seen them. They played a test match against Bermuda, and they beat Bermuda 2-0, which is a warm-up game.
That's a good warm-up, yes.
Yeah, I think that game is important for them.
Of course, that's a very good warm-up. Look, every game is important in football. If you win, there are lessons that you learn. If you lose, there are also lessons that you learn. You understand? So I think no game should be looked down on. And like we say, it's football. Everything is possible. Everything. Nobody would have thought that back in 2016, Iceland would have done what they did. So if you play any game, anything whatsoever, nobody would have thought that Cape Verde today would be going to the World Cup. But because they prepared well, and they are where they are today. So no game is too small once the ball kicks off.
I think preparation is very important in football.
Of course, that's the foundation of result. Preparation, not just preparation, but decent preparation.
Decent preparation.
If you prepare, you don't prepare well, you're not going to get the desired outcome. But once you prepare well in terms of putting in all of the right modalities, having the right conversations, and then being very proactive. You don't need to wait until you fall victim before you take steps. You must be proactive to take the necessary steps to ensure that you get a positive result and effect that you desire as a person or as an organization or as a nation, in the case of football, as a national team. So I think that, yes, I'm not surprised because all of these things are expected in football.
You are not surprised? All of the Michael, yes, still, we will stay with the preparations, World Cup preference, because we all know World Cup is approaching.
Of course.
We have seen yesterday Ghana being beaten by Austria by 5-1. What do you make up to the build-up? What do you learn from that result? What will Ghana do?
I am worried. I am disturbed. I am uneasy because Ghana is one of the teams that Africa depends on in the global competition. So 90 days to the World Cup, you're having a serious text match against Austria, so to speak. The Ghanaians have top professional playing all over the place. The Kudus and you name it.
Yeah, they have good players.
So you
the Semenyo,
Man City. Man City. He's undoubtedly he's currently the best player in Africa by performance.
Yes, by performance.
Is it Semenyo also?
Semenyo.
He's the best player currently in Africa by performance. I'm not saying by award. So when you have the caliber of players, you must be able to...
Thomas Partey.
You understand? Thomas Partey, one of the most veteran midfielders. He's a world-class midfielder. You can't take that away from him. So what you need a technician who understands the individual skills of these players so that he translates the individual skills into a team spirit so that it provides you the necessary positive result and effect for the national team. But as a build-up against a team like Austria, I'm not taking anything away from the Austrian team, but losing 5-1 sends a very negative signal. But it also sends a beautiful one in the sense that you have a lot of lessons to pick up.
Yeah, a lot
to
of
know
lessons.
that you are steps away from the level you ought to be. So what I think they can do is to go back on the drawing board and see where the lapses were and close up those loopholes if they are hoping to be very competitive in a forthcoming World Cup, so to speak. But it is not expected of Ghana because, like I said, these are one of the most competitive nations in African football. You talk about Nigeria, you talk about Cameroon. Nigeria is not there today. You talk about South Africa, talk about Cameroon, Morocco, Egypt. These are teams that you call on when it comes to African football. So Ghana losing 5-1 is not a good thing. That's what I said. I'm scared. I am uneasy. I'm disappointed, but not frustrated because there's a lesson that is going to be learned. So the Ghanaian Football Authority, from the coach to everyone that concerns football in Ghana, should go on the drawing board and see how best to close the loopholes because time is fast spent and 90 days is just right here.
Yeah, 90 days is just right here. Michael, to me, I always support Ghana Ghana at the World Cup.
Okay.
Ghana is my team.
Of course.
During the time of Asamoah Gyan, Kojo Asamoah and others, Pan Steel, yes, Ghana, Apia, Mensa,
Ofori, all of these players.
They were always my team.
Yeah, Julius Agogo.
Agbo, yes, the late. I always support Ghana. Even the 2010 World Cup, they were my team. I was cheering for.
You know, I think there is a massive transition in the Ghanaian national team. The team in the past compared to now.
Yes, and then the good thing is, Miguel, Ghana, in most cases, they always qualified for World Cups.
Of course, that's why we said it's a household name in African football. So there are results that Ghana would do, and you'll be asking yourself, is this Ghana? What has happened? Something is missing. So they have to go and find that missing puzzle so that Ghana gets back to the level that she deserves. And I think they are capable of doing that.
Mikael, quickly, we are running away from time.
Okay.
Mikael, quickly, what do you make of the Brazil versus France game?
If you watch that game very well, you're going to be...
Is Brazil definitely ready?
I wouldn't say they're ready. I think they are on that trajectory of readiness, but there's still room for improvement. And it also shows the importance of individual quality. That's where Neymar comes in. When it gets tight, when it gets challenging, you need that individual quality. You need that leadership. You need someone of his caliber to be there to do the unthinkable, changing games around. So I think, but he still has a room to be there. I think Carlos Ancelotti is going to do the right thing. He's going to be monitoring him seriously. But then the French team have always been competitive as well. I wasn't surprised at the result because Mbappe in Europe has been the most formidable striker in terms of punching goals. So you can't be surprised by his performance against a Brazilian team of that nature. But Brazil can go on the drawing board and put in the right corrective measures and come back better to being the Brazil that the world has always known them to be. And I think they're not far from that.
Brazil, they are always like that. Michael, but the last question before we wrap up. What's your team in the forthcoming World Cup, both in Africa and Europe?
For me, I'm a Pan-Africanist. So I'm telling you that I support all of the African teams that are going to the forthcoming World Cup. And in Europe, France is my team for the mere fact that they have dominant black players or the African players at that level. So I would say I have two teams. That is one, all of the African teams competing in the World Cup, and then France.
So, and then France.
All the African teams are my first choice, and France is my second choice in the World Cup.
In the World Cup. Michael, thank you for the show. What are your final words?
What I would say to the Gambian people is that wake up from wherever you are, put your hand in your purse and cross the ferry. If you don't have the ticket for the flight, get to Senegambia, get your ticket, go and support the Scorpions, because this is a very important game. It's beyond just mere 90 minutes. These are rivalries or derbies that you don't just see easily. If you don't have the financial means to get to Senegambia, give your support, your moral support to the national team, and hoping that they come back with a result for the Gambia so that we all enjoy together. I look forward to a very good game.
Thank you, Michael. Comme ni ko waxee viewers yëpp ne li lañu waxtu mayoon si suñ programme bi di Beyond the Scores di ñaanal ñëpp rek ne ñuy dem seetaani game bi biir Sénégal Dakar di wax ñëpp rek ñu dem si jàmm ñëw si jàmm yàlla aar ñëpp yàlla dimbale ñëpp daal yàlla musal ñëpp si tafaar daal bu kenn gaañu bu kenn am problème bu kenn xeex bu kenn xulu ñu dem seetaani match bi si jàmm di wax ne rek Sénégal suñ ay mbokka leen kenn mun koo xar ñaari réew yi so jàmm rek a xëj suñu diggante football bi rek di wax ne yàlla tuur si ndobu seeda ñu play ko si jàmm mu jeex si jàmm ñëpp continuer life goes on yéen ñu doon seetaan safoo di bëggee di seetaan Télé Dal TV rek lii la ñu waxtu mayoon di leen wax ne rek di leen jox dig ak daje rek di ñaanal tamit rek suñ Scorpions si rek yan na leen yàlla may ndam yan nañ win game bi si 2 goals or 3 goals to 0 lii lay ñaanal gars yi di leen wax ne rek salaamaaleykum wa rahmatullahi taala wa barakatuh. Next time.
Every time you buy credit or data, that's a spin and win waiting on your My Africell app. 50 megabytes, 100 megabytes, 5 gigabytes of internet data. Si tanga tanga. Credit or data purchases, spin and win rec. Africell and AfriMoney, where loyalty pays and the fun never fades.